Hey guys, I'm Denise Roseanne. Welcome back to my channel. Here on this channel, I teach you how to love yourself and grow spiritually so that you can live with joy, freedom, and purpose. So today I'm talking about how to forgive your parents. This is a huge one for pretty much almost everyone who's been alive, I would say. I don't think there's anyone who's ever grown up who didn't have something that they needed to forgive their parents for. Some of us have more stuff to forgive, some of us have less stuff to forgive, but we all need to forgive. And if you've watched any of my other videos on forgiveness, you know that forgiveness has been a huge part of my healing journey, my manifestation journey, and everything, and just creating a wonderful life for myself. And that's because forgiveness allows us to release the past and allows us to create a new reality that we want. And a lot of us have a lot of emotional energy tied to our parents, and it's really important that we learn how to and practice forgiveness to them. But I know it can be tricky for a lot of us. It's totally understandable. You know, there's a lot of history there, and our parents are kind of the first people who we trust and who we depend on in this world. So it can feel hard to forgive them, but I've done it and I know that you can as well. So in this video, I'm going to take you through some practical ways that you can forgive them. So before I get into how to forgive your parents, I just briefly want to talk about why we need to forgive our parents. And the first reason is, like I just said, we need to be able to release the past and move forward with our new lives, right? So we don't want to just keep recreating the past. Unless your past was like the most wonderful, then you're probably not watching this video. But if you want to create a new reality, you want to create new changes in your life, you need to be able to move forward from the past and no longer be bound by it and no longer be recreating that into your life. And so our relationship with our parents is a big part of our self-concept, and the things that they have told us about ourselves we often hold to be true, and that's how we think of ourselves. And that's not good or bad, it's just the way that we grow up. We grow up, you know, our parents are almost like the gods of our universe when we're kids. We believe every single word they say because we have to. We needed them to depend on. However, when we grow up and we become adults, it becomes time to release those negative beliefs that they might have inadvertently imprinted upon us, and instead replace them with new positive beliefs about our life, whatever area of your life it might be, you know, whether it's your self-concept, whether it's about money or career or relationships, whatever it is that's no longer serving you anymore. You need to forgive your parents for whatever role they had to play in those beliefs and move forward and replace them with new beliefs. And it's really important to understand that holding on to resentment and anger towards our parents or towards anyone only hurts ourselves. It never hurts the other person, okay? So there's this Buddhist saying I love, and it says, holding on to anger is like holding on to a hot coal with the intent of throwing it. You're the one who gets burned, okay? It's not the other person who gets hurt by your anger, by your resentment. You're the one who suffers. You're the one. Anger and resentment causes problems in our lives. It creates a low vibration in us. It just can wreak havoc in our lives, and it's just it's not a good thing to feel either. Like, who likes to feel angry all the time or resentful or, you know, any of those negative emotions all the time? It's time to let them go and just understand that we're doing this forgiveness process for ourselves. We're not doing it for the other person. We're doing it for ourselves. And it's also important to understand when doing any sort of forgiveness work that forgiveness is not about the other person. It's about you, and it's not about saying that whatever they did was okay. I know some of you, maybe you have suffered abuse from your parents, whether that be emotional or otherwise. And first of all, I'm really sorry that you had that experience. But also understand that if you're practicing forgiveness, you're not saying that that abuse was okay. You're not saying what they did was okay, even if it wasn't abuse. Like, even if just something negative happened. We've all had negative experiences with our parents or with other people in our lives. You're not saying what they did was okay. You're just saying that you're no longer willing to hold on to it. You're no longer willing to be energetically tied to this experience. You're no longer willing to have this experience be a part of your experience. You're just willing to let it go. Let it go. Forgive it. It happened. It's over. It's done. I no longer want to bring this into my future. I'm ready to forgive. I'm ready to feel love and light and happy and peaceful and like I can love everyone. Like that is such a powerful place to be in. So hopefully I've convinced you that it's important to forgive. Let's go ahead and get into exactly how you can forgive your parents. The very first step to forgiving your parents or forgiving anyone is just deciding that you're willing to forgive. Deciding to change, of course, is the biggest step to making any change, right? And we have to make this decision within us that we are ready to forgive, okay? We're ready to start the forgiveness process. Whether or not you know how to forgive is not actually the most important. There's lots of people who can teach you, like I'm going to teach you how to forgive, and also the universe will assist you and help you in forgiving. But you have to make that decision that you're ready to forgive. So the first step is just to sit down and think like, am I willing to forgive? Am I ready to start forgiving my parents? And hopefully, if you're watching this video, you are, and you've already taken the first biggest step. So there are two main processes that I like to use for forgiveness. And I've learned both of these from other teachers, from Louise Hay to other people. So all credit where credit is due. I didn't come up with these. But these two practices have been really helpful for me in practicing forgiveness. And again, it works for everybody, not just your parents, but we will use your parents in this video. So the first practice is sort of like a meditation of sorts. So you're going to get into a quiet space, a nice relaxed space, and I want you to close your eyes and picture your parents as children, okay? And start with just one at a time. So picture your mom or your dad, or if you have two moms, two dads, pick one, okay? And picture them as a little child of about like 2 or 3. If you have never seen a picture of your parents as children, it could be really helpful to find a picture of them as children. But whether or not you have that picture, just visualize them in front of you. So you are your adult self and you're looking upon that child and like age them down in your mind, like see them growing smaller and smaller. And picture that child looking at you, okay? And it's an innocent child of 2 or 3. And look at that child really, and look at how it really just wants to be loved. That child really just needs love. And think about what kind of experiences would have to happen to this child to create your parents, good or bad. What has happened to this child? What have they gone through? And look in this moment that they're just a child of 2 or 3 and that all they need is love. All they're looking for in this life is love and connection and to feel okay about themselves. And so I want you to send that child love. You can imagine yourself wrapping them up in a big hug and telling you love them. Tell them they're all right. Tell them they're a good person. Tell them you forgive them. Tell them you love them just as they are and really mean it, like really, really mean it. That child, just needs to be loved like all of us. And so do that with one parent and then do it with the other. Really get into it as much as you can. Feel the emotions, really see the innocence of that child. And then I want you to understand that that child still lives in your parents, okay? We all carry our inner children with us. No matter how old we are, we always have that place within us that's 2 or 3 or, all the ages we've been, we carry with us. And when you think about the hurtful things your parents have done, realize that they, like you, carry that inner child that maybe got hurt, that maybe had bad experiences, that maybe was abused themselves, that maybe was never taught how to love themselves, was never taught how to think bigger, was never taught maybe how to raise their own kids. They could only teach you what they knew. And so the next time you get angry with your parents or you have trouble relating to them or you have trouble forgiving them, really picture that inner child within them and send that inner child love, okay? So sometimes it's hard to forgive the adult version of someone, but we can easily forgive the child version of them, because it's hard to be angry at a child. At least I find it very hard to be angry at a child, because they're so innocent, they're so pure. They just want love, they just want connection, they just want to know they're okay. And so when you can understand that that child is still within your parents, it becomes a lot easier to forgive them, to relate to them, and to love them, to honor them. So I do recommend this inner child exercise. I find it's really helpful to sending love to your parents or anyone else that you need to send love to. And the second forgiveness practice is one that I've done several times, and it was really amazing how much it releases. It's an amazing practice. So here it is. Okay, so you're gonna get a notebook or a piece of paper, and on this piece of paper, I want you to write down 10 to 20 experiences that you had with your parents that you need to forgive. So this could be anything that makes you feel negative, anything like if you have a specific thing that you're working on, like let's say you're working on increasing your money consciousness, then you could list all the experiences that you can remember where you had a negative experience around money with your parents. But whatever it is, just list 10 to 20 experiences with your parents that you would like to forgive. So we have our list, 10 to 20 experiences. You're going to get in a quiet, relaxed, safe space, and starting with the first experience on your list, I want you to go back to that experience in your mind, visualize it as clearly as you can. Visualize however old you were in the experience, and feel the feelings of that experience for about like 30 seconds. We don't want to do longer than 30 seconds because then you're just going to get stuck in that emotion. But we need to, in order to clear it, we need to feel it, right? So what did you feel in that moment? Did you feel not good enough? Did you feel ashamed? Did you feel embarrassed? Did you feel made fun of? Did you feel that you were a disappointment? Whatever you felt in that moment, let yourself feel it now. And it's okay, whatever emotions come up, you might cry, you might get angry, you might, whatever comes up, we're just clearing it all out. It's okay. It's totally normal to be emotional during this process. Absolutely normal. And then I want you to picture, after you felt the emotions, I want you to picture your parent or whoever it was in front of you, and you say to them, "Thank you, I forgive you, I love you, and I set you free." And really say it as meaningfully as you can. Try to mean each word you say. Now, why do we say this? Thank you. We're saying thank you for the experience. Whatever role it had to play in our lives, all of our experiences have a role to play in our lives. Even if you don't know what role that experience had to play, it had some role to play in your life. So you say thank you for the experience. You say, I forgive you. We're forgiving our parents. We are no longer holding on to it. We're forgiving the experience. We're saying, I love you, because we can send love to them. No matter, it was a painful experience, it was difficult to go through, but we are loving people, and so we can send love to our parents. And then we say, I set you free. And we're saying, I'm setting the whole experience free. I'm no longer tied to this. And really what we're doing is we're setting ourselves free as we do this. So then you want to go ahead and go through each experience on your list and repeat that. Visualize the experience, feel the emotions for about 30 seconds, visualize your parent in front of you and say, thank you, I forgive you, I love you, I set you free. And as you go through the list, you'll start feeling lighter and lighter. You'll feel so much emotion coming up. It's just an amazing clearing process. If you want to double the power of this, what I also like to do is, if you also suffer from a lot of anger towards yourself, I would also recommend, as you're going through each experience, not only say the forgiveness words to your parent, but also say them to yourself. So I love to say, let's say I had an experience where I spilled spaghetti, my parents yelled at me, right? This didn't actually happen, but that could be an experience, right? So I say, thank you, I forgive you, I love you, to my parent, whoever yelled at me at that time. And then I visualize however old I was. Let's say I was 8, and I visualize my 8-year-old self in front of me, and I say, thank you, I love you, or thank you, I forgive you, I love you, and I set you free. And that allows us to start the forgiveness process and loving process towards ourselves as well, because we also tend to have a lot of self-hatred and self-guilt about things that have happened in our lives as well. So I like to do that, but you don't have to. It's just, I think it makes the exercise even more powerful. And yeah, so just go through the list, do this, and if you can't get through all the experiences, that's okay. Like I said, it can be very emotional. Just have patience and compassion for yourself. If you find yourself getting too overwhelmed and it's just feeling like a really negative experience, then it's all right. Put the list away, go drink some tea, have a nice afternoon, and come back to it when you're ready. It's okay. We want to be compassionate and loving and kind to ourselves. I don't believe in being mean or forceful or harsh with ourselves. So just, do the best you can. And after you do this exercise, how do you feel? I bet if you feel anything like me, you will feel so much lighter, so much freer, like so much clearer, like all this energy has been cleared out. It's really amazing how doing one simple forgiveness exercise can really change everything. And so to wrap it all up, the forgiveness is an ongoing process. As you continue to have your parents in your life, if they are still in your life, there's going to be new things that you need to forgive, right? New and old. Some old stuff might come up that you didn't even realize, and you have to practice forgiveness with that. And if new things come up, you have to forgive those as well. So I know that makes it sound difficult, but it's really not. It's a practice, it's a habit. As you continue to do this, forgiving becomes more of a habit and more of something that becomes easier to do without really trying. And so yeah, as much as you can, try to make it a habit and incorporate it into your life. And I would recommend doing the forgiveness exercises again. Like, let's say you do them again in a month. You might have new experiences to forgive, or there might be old ones that you haven't quite fully forgiven, and it's another opportunity to go back. And if you feel like an experience is stubborn, that's okay. That just means there's a lot of energy around it. That doesn't mean that you're never going to be able to forgive it. It just means it's going to take a little bit of more time, and that's all right. We can get there. There have been really difficult, painful experiences that I have been able to forgive, so that I know you can do it as well, okay? I believe in you. You got this. You got this. Okay, so those are my top tips on how you can forgive your parents. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you did enjoy this video. And I'm sending you so much love and light on your journey. You're doing great. You got this. And I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys.